This is your notes for 10.1 for pre-algebra. First of all, because there's no written problems on your assignment, we're just going to cross out the first one, and we're not going to work it on our notes. On number 2, this is a review lesson. So we cover up the term with the letter in it, the P, which is our variable. And we ask ourselves our question, what are we doing to that term? We are adding 5. The inverse of adding 5 is to subtract 5. So we subtract 5 once to this side of the equal sign, once to this side of the equal sign. These 5's delete each other, so we're left with P divided by 4 equals 13 minus 5, which is 8. Now, because P divided by 4 needs to get rid of the divide by 4, and the inverse of dividing by 4 is to multiply by 4. So now we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by 4. These two will cancel out, and we get P equals 32. On all of these equations, you should need to check when you get through. Put this into your calculator. You put your 32 in here where this says. So put 32 ABC4 plus 5. And when you hit the equal key, if you don't get 13, you have not worked it correctly. So, okay, let's go to the next problem. And this is number 3. On number 3, we are going to, first of all, our letter or our variable is on this side of the equation. It can be on either side. You just simply cover that term up. What's beside it? It has a minus 1.7. The inverse of minusing 1.7 is to add 1.7. We do it once to this side, once to that side. When we do that, 1.8 plus 1.7 is 3.5. And we bring down our negative 2.5m because these two have canceled each other out. Now, we are multiplying the m by negative 2.5. The inverse of that is to divide by negative 2.5. We do that to both sides. Now, take in your calculator and put 3.5 divided by negative 2.5. And when you do that, you'll get a negative 1.4 equals, these two cancel each other out, m. Now let's replace the m up here in the calculator with our negative 1.4. In other words, we are going to take negative 2.5 times negative 1.4 minus 1.7. Put this into your calculator. Negative 2.5 times negative 1.4 minus 1.7. And when you hit the equal key, you should get 1.8. Now, the new concept for this lesson is what happens when we have this kind of thing. We cannot add the k plus the 4 because they're not like terms. And we have to divide by 9, and that's the last thing we can do. So we typically kind of work backwards on these. So what we're going to do here is everything up here has to be divided by 9. So we can rewrite this as k divided by 9 plus 4 divided by 9 equals 6. If we were to write it this way, it would look like this, k plus 4 divided by 9, and the parentheses would be around this. So in our order of operations, the k plus 4 is actually in this fraction bar is kind of acting as a parentheses around that. Now back to this, we cover up our k value. When we do, we have plus 4/9 we need to get rid of. To get rid of plus 4/9, we minus 4/9. We minus 4/9, once on each side of the Great Wall of China. Now, we're going to bring down, these two cancel out. We're going to bring down our k over 9. Don't write this down yet. K over 9 equals, put into your calculator, 6 minus 4/9. Use your ABC key for your fraction. You will get 5 and 5/9. Now, back over here, we're going to cover up our K. We're dividing by 9. Now we're going to multiply both sides by 9. And K equals 50. Now let's take and see what happens when we put this into our calculator. When you put this into your calculator, you either need to put a parentheses around the 50 plus 4 or hit the equal key before you divide by 9. So let's do it this way. Let's take 50 plus 4, hit the equal key so you add them first, and then divide by 9. If you don't, you won't get 6. Or you can put a parentheses, 50 plus 4, parentheses closed, and then divide by 9. You have to make sure that you add those two first and get an answer before you divide by 9. Now on the back side, I'm going to give you a couple here that I'm going to give you a couple different ways, and I'm going to let you choose to which way you like. This one is a way that we teach in algebra when we have fractions in a equation. In this case, all of these have a 2 in the denominator. So we can get rid of all of our fractions by multiplying everything up here by 2. Now you have to multiply by 2, by 2, and by 2. If you look over here at this one and you want to try this way, you will multiply this by 4, this fraction by 4, this fraction by 4, and you will have to multiply the negative 2 times 4. You'll have to multiply them by all of them, the 4 by all of them. Now in this case, we're going to take 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 7 halves. If you can put this in your calculator, times 2, you'll still get 7. Now again, we'll just go on ahead and work this. Cover up our 3x. To get rid of our minus 5, we need to add 5. So we add 5 to both sides. These two cancel each other out. So we have 3x equals, and 5 plus 7 is 12. Now this is 3 times x. And so to get rid of timesing by 3, we divide each side by 3, and x equals 4. Another way to do this is just work with the fractions, since your calculator does fractions so well. In this case, we're going to cover up the x term. We're minusing 5 halves. So on both sides, we will add 5 halves. These two cancel out. Now we have 3 halves x equals. When you put 7 halves plus 5 halves in your calculator, you will get a 6, or 12 halves if you do it in your head and then you don't simplify it. It will work either way. Now, to get rid of it, multiplying by 3 halves, we need to divide by 3 halves. So we're dividing by 3 halves on both sides of this equation. When you take 6 and divide it by 3 ABC2, you will get 4. And it will check out just like this one did. Oh, I didn't do the check on this. 3 halves times our 4 minus 5 halves equals, and you will get an answer of 7 halves or 3 1/2, either one. Now, I would like for you to finish up all of the problems here and send it back to me. Okay, I appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you.